Ooh, hello. So today I'm going to show you how to direct connect UltraSite to an RMCC or an E2 controller. A couple things you're going to need in the beginning. First, of course, is UltraSite. Second, let me show you this right quick. Hi! Second is going to be a USB to serial adapter. Make sure you get the, I think they consider this the male. Yeah, it's a male, but make sure it doesn't have the prongs on the end. They make some that have, in fact, I'm going to show you a couple different ones. Wow, it's this shit. I got these, good lord, I tell you. I got these so that I could make a couple of adapters myself. That I'm going to show you in a minute. But you want it to look like, you want it to look like that, okay? And what I was going to show the difference, okay, is they make them, see, this got one of those things in here. Might not. Took one off the other thing a minute ago, but they make them where they have a screw, like right there. See where that hole's at? And you can see where the hole's at on here. And if you look, that one's kind of wrinkled up. Sort of, there we go. See how that, I had to pull the bolts off. If I had one, what did I show you? But you want to make sure you don't have that because it won't connect. I will. I'll show you why. Okay. So if you look right here on this controller, see how it's got the nut sticking up? What that's for is when you hook that serial cable up, and actually that's where you're going to hook. Look, there it is. The end of here. You're going to plug it in. You're going to plug it in right there. Okay. So anyway, I'll set this back out. That'll be in a minute. So, like I said, besides UltraSite, oh, and what it is I got these things, a bunch of this crap, this kit, because I need to make a bunch of the third thing you need, which is, for an RMCC, you're going to need this adapter. Okay, what it is, it's the serial, the other end of here. That will plug in here instead of plugging it into the, you know, an E2, which we'll get into later. You plug it into that adapter, and that adapter gets connected to the COM-C port on an RMCC or BEC, one of those panels. So you're going to need all that. So to begin with, we're going to connect to an RMCC panel. So let me get this out of the way here. You don't need to see me no more. Okay, so now when you plug in, first thing you want to do when you plug this in, before you do anything else, you want to plug your USB to serial adapter into your computer. The reason you need that adapter is because most computers, well, laptops especially, do not have serial ports. So you got to make one. Now, once you have it plugged in, and you'll probably need to do this every time, you want to come in here and go to your search bar and go da-da-da-da. You want to go to search for your device manager, open it up. You're going to go down here to the ports, common LPT. Excuse me, LPT is the old parallel printing, you know, ports. I don't even know why they still list them. I don't know if they're used for anything anymore. But just to show you something right quick. Okay, see right now, it's gone. I don't have any other serial ports set up on this computer. So when I plug it in, it actually adds one. So plug it back in. There it is, ports. Okay, you open it up. Mine's the prolific USB to serial. I'm looking at this right here, COM3. You have to remember the COM3 part. Once you have that, you get connected and you plug into the COM-C on the RMCC. And that's the 4-pin connector. It's the only 4-pin connector on the RMCC. So plug it in. Okay. Then you already know you're on COM3 here. So we'll close that out. We will open UltraSite. Takes a minute sometimes. This is a 10-year-old computer too, so that don't help much. Okay, so I've kind of already started, but then you want to come in here, log in, use this user pass unless you've changed it. Okay, now you know your COM port. Come in over here to System, Set Up Ports, and Direct Connect Ports. If you come over here, you open that and it doesn't show anything, something's not quite set up right for your USB to serial adapter. Try and plug it back in. If you need some help. I mean, it's just one that it might be a bad one if this is the first time you've used it. But I have had, like on my laptop, I got one USB port it doesn't work on, and then it'll work on the other two. But depending on which one I plug it in, depends on which COM port it brings up. So that's why you have to go through the device manager and check that every time that you start. So you come in here. Again, I'm gonna close this right quick. System, Set Up Ports, Direct Connect Ports, COM3. If there's other COM ports listed, pick the COM port that the USB to serial device is set up on. You hit Set Up, make sure it's connect in and out. Do not check the CTS handshake, and click OK, and click Close. It's not going to change it before you hit Close, but if you want to check it, make sure you got it set up right. Set Up Ports, Direct Connect Ports, and see now, Set Up Yes instead of Set Up No. And this should say in and out. Now, you have to have a directory to put your stores in. So as a contractor, the directory is the chain of stores that I'm working at. It might be Food Line, it might be a Stop and Save, it might be a Handy Pandy, it might be whatever else out there. Food Country, I don't know. But anyway, that's your directory. If you're a store tech, you're generally only going to have one directory. That's the store you work for. So my directory, and I'm going to do this. I'm going to do one. My directory is the test 001. Okay, so I need to add a site. Okay, so the first thing I'm going to do is, like I said, the RMCC. My site is going to be. Oops, can't spell. Make a store number. You don't have to put a site ID. That's not necessary. Now I'm doing the reflex. All right, we're going to do a direct connect. Now remember I was talking about if you had an IP address, whatnot, if you're on the same network as the controllers in the store, Wi-Fi or direct LAN connection, you can come in here and do network gateway, put the controller's IP address in the port, which 3001's standard, and it'll connect that way, but we're not worried about that right now. We're just messing with direct connect. So now baud rate. This is very, very, very important, and I'll show you where it's at here in a minute once I get connected. You've got to make sure your baud rate matches the baud rate set up under the modem settings in the controller for the RMCCs. It's very, very important. If you don't, it might connect, but it's not going to communicate. So I know mine is set for 9600, but you got 3 choices. Generally, they are set for 9600 if they're installed. I can't guarantee that, but a new one, like the one that I'm connecting to right now, when I first got it, it was actually set at 1200, so I had to change it. Port is COM3, the one that you set up. All right, you just click OK. Now, I want to connect to that controller. I right-click the test store 245. and I just click connect. Now the first time you go in, if you're it'll pick up everything if it what do you call it? It'll pick up everything if you're going through the network. And I actually have not tried, and I'm going to try this at one of the stores, to where I can just tap into that loop and see if I can't talk back and forth anyway. Or it might. No, CON-B is your loop between the controllers. I think you can get to all the controllers once you connect to one. I'm going to have to confirm that, but I'll figure that out later. So anyway, you click yes. One important note too, once you click yes, if you know the number of controllers at your store, 2, 4, 5, whatever, it'll start, you can cancel after it's found all the controllers. It takes a minute, it's 9600 baud old connections, so. Okay, now, you notice I've only got one controller in mind now. So it found that one controller. So I'm going to hit cancel. Takes a minute. Let it cancel. Don't close the box. If you don't let UltraSite do things like it needs to, it'll lock it up. But now I want to connect to this controller. I want to see what's on this controller. I can. I'm connected. Okay. So I'm already connected. So I can come over here and go to terminal mode. Guess what? Here's your controller. Log in with the high-level password you got. And I'll show you where the baud rate setting is. So you have to go into 7 for configuration. Then you have to go into 4 for remote communication. Right here, you're setting this is the RS-232 ports where you're turning it into. This is the baud rate that you're looking for. Something else to note. Let's see if I can remember where it's at. 3. It might take. Okay, see right here, when you go into 3, up here, the unit number. If you're trying to, you say you're changing a controller, you need to restore a program you have, you need to make sure this unit number right here matches the unit number you're replacing. If not, you'll end up restoring the wrong one. But so anyway, but that's where all that information is. So that's how you connect. That's also, you go into terminal mode, you can go through the controller just like you're standing in front of it. It does lock. There will be a thing on the front of the screen that says, oh, what does it say? Hold on. Oh, I gotta go terminal mode. Once you hit terminal mode, now it'll say remote terminal active, status display suspended, because I'm looking at the status display. So as soon as you back out of that and disable terminal mode, it clears back up. Whoever's running on it can do what they want to at the store. If you keep repeatedly kicked out of terminal mode, somebody's at the store kicking you out. Also, that note too, if you're at a store and somebody keeps logging in and you're trying to do something or diagnose, I've had it where I've been trying to do something, somebody will log in to see what's going on or whatever and keeps kicking me out. So I'll just unplug the modem loop, communication loops between it and the Halcom. But anyhow, okay. So that if you need to do a backup, come out here, backup. If once you've backed it up, see how slow this is, and I've actually got a controller. Get on. Nothing. I think you see that here. I think it still pulls it all out. Just a second. Okay, so that's finishing the backup. Bing. Unit has been backed up. Here's where it's important to have your unit number set right in the controller. If you come in here and hit restore, it's going to restore that controller number. So be very, very aware of that. I'm going to let it finish. It's pretty quick. I'll pause. I'll come back and stuff. Okay, once you finish restoring a unit, this is what it comes up with. It says unit has been restored. You click OK. And yeah, it says whatever completed, and you're done. One thing to note, when you get done working with that, just don't close the window. Always do your best to disconnect it, especially with the older controllers, and the UltraSite's a little funky too. It can lock it up and you'll have to close it and restart it a little bit. So, a little FAQ, I guess. If you're not connected from RMCC, first you gotta have the little adapter for the end of the serial cable. But if you're not connecting, make sure your baud rate is set up right. First, like I said, you got to make sure your USB to serial adapter is being installed on your computer by going through the device manager and finding the COM port. Make sure you're setting your COM port up, and if it connects and doesn't talk, it's most likely a baud rate issue. If it doesn't see it or it doesn't connect, it's probably on the RMCC, it's probably that cable, the one to hook up to the modem section. Alright, I'm going to pause this for just a minute, and we will come back and add in a E2 and connect to it. Okay, so now we are going to go through how to connect to an E2 controller. Like I said, I haven't connected, haven't run into a site supervisor yet, but I'm pretty sure the connection will probably do the same thing. Actually, let me take that back. I know some of the newer E2s were coming out without the serial connection on them. So that means the only way to connect to it is via a network. I bet you the site supervisor is the same way, and I have not even ventured a guess to look. You know what? Now's the time to find out. Okay, the newer E2s, the enhanced I think it is, and the site supervisors, you can direct connect with a Ethernet cable. Basically, on the site supervisor, it has a Ethernet port 1, and it is a static IP port, and it's used so you can set your computer up to the right IP address and send it anyway. And I believe the enhanced are the same. The E2 enhanced are the same way. So this is just like, as far as the newer stuff goes, this is just dealing with the E2 series controllers with the 9-pin DB connector on the PIB board. So anyway, we've already got our test chain, so I'm going to add a new test site, which is going to be test site. So we're connecting to an E2. Oh, if you notice, I do not have the newest UltraSite revision on this computer. So it doesn't list the E3 or site supervisor. And actually, I'll probably update that here in a little bit. I might just run a video through that too. But yeah, so it's just not showing it. But I'll pop that up here in a little bit. So again, we're going to go to the direct connection. Again, the big important part on that direct connection is your baud rate. Once we get connected, I'll show you where this one's at. It's not set up as the modem like it is in the RMCCs, but I'll show you here in just a few minutes when I get into terminal mode. Anyway, so we got to go back over here, port COM3, and OK. So now I want to connect. You're going to realize how much faster all this is too. Okay, there you are, done. Double click it. Oh, sorry. Oh, you hit the star back over here, and it goes all your stuff. This is This is a CX controller, but I kind of have it set up as a RX. All the customers can go with it. But anyway, so here you're connected. Now, same thing. If you want to back it up. Operational backup the unit and save it. Yep. Same thing. You have to make sure your unit numbers are correct. I'll show you where all that's at here in a second too. Okay, now I am going to, what's wrong with it? Let's go to terminal mode. There's your controller. Now, log in. Now you can hit the F button or you can click it with your mouse, either one. Other than that, it's just like a regular controller. SR, tab. Oh, sorry, remember, down arrow. Pass. Hit enter, log in. Now we are going to hit menu. This is where you'll learn to use your numbers a lot too. We want to go into system configuration. We want to go to network setup, and you want to go to, I think it's network summary. Nope. Where was that? Huh, I'm a doofus. Oops. I'm using my keyboard, but you can just hit like 4 for remote communication. And then go to 3. Now, here's the interesting thing. I go here, but then you have to back up a couple of tabs to get what you want. So if you hit Control 3, there's your serial, COM1. This is where you're direct connecting to. Don't worry about this. The IONet is the CPC network, your 8RO boards, 40Os, input boards, all that stuff that's, and Emerson, you know, like the old legacy, I guess you could say, stuff. That's what's on here. You can also go in here and set other stuff up. I'm not worried about that. This one actually has an internal modem set up on it. It's on COM3. If you need to change the controller number, you're replacing a new controller, something like that, and you need to, like I said, change the controller number. Log in. Then you're going to hit menu, 7 for network setup. You want to hit 2 for connected controllers. Now at the top, you want to go to either Shift tab or Control tab, or if some of your buttons don't work, you got to tab all the way through, but you want to go to Control 1, this unit. Here you can change the unit name and you can change the unit number. So you got to make sure that's right to make sure everything else is good. Or so you can, you know, restore it and all that crap. So I want to close this. Okay. To close this out, easiest way is hit the little X. Don't hit the big X, hit the little X. It closes the terminal mode. If you need to restore it, you've got it backed up, hit restore. You can actually go in and go through your little different settings, and like say, for example, here, I want to edit application, and I'm now naming it, next to last thing, just standard circuit. I don't want a number on it. Okay. Hit apply, and it sends it to the controller. Then hit OK. There it is. And now what's interesting is it will not automatically update on the controller. What you have to do is go out of a screen into a screen, and then it'll change the name on the controller. But anyway, I think that's it. If you got any questions, let me know. If you need any access to them little thingies, the adapter for the RMCC, let me know. But thank you.